If you would like to know the simplest ways, now that restrictions are easing, to really get sales firing in your food business, watch this video and we're going to explain our top tips for cost-effective, no-cost and low-cost strategies that really work. Now, if you'd like to know more about starting or growing a cafe, restaurant or any food-based business, make sure you press the subscribe button and you'll get notifications every week when we post a new video. Hi, I'm Rowena and I'm a food consultant from Sydney, Australia. I've worked with hundreds of cafes and restaurants and other food-based businesses over the years to really skyrocket their sales and help them grow. So if you're interested in knowing and learning our strategies for success that focus on low-cost and no-cost strategies, stay tuned. Okay, fortunately we're starting to see restrictions ease in our food industry, and we're starting to see venues starting to recommence and operate at close to capacity. In a lot of countries there are still quite severe restrictions in place, but in other countries we're starting to see them really ease. So now is the time you really need to support that sales function and get those sales firing after many months of restricted income. But now is not the time to embark on costly advertising campaigns that may have limited return on investment. Now is the time to be nimble. You want to implement low-cost, cost-effective strategies will really support sales and watch that income roll in. So here are our top tips. Okay, tip number one, and it's the easiest thing you can do: restrict your menu. So when you go into a venue, have you ever sat down and you're given a menu and it's about 10 pages long? So you're poring over the menu, trying to work out what to decide. It is overwhelming and it slows down the sales process. So what you need to do is create a short, sharp and concise menu of high profit margin items. Anyone who knows food marketing knows we are a big advocate of the one-page menu. And you might say, one page? I'll tell you why. The faster you process customer sales, the faster you turn over the tables and the more income you can make, especially in those small windows of your peak lunchtime sales period or peak evening dinner sales period. So let's get cracking with a limited, concise menu. Now here's the thing, you really need to focus on your high profit margins items. So what you need to know, you need to know your numbers. You need to know which items have the best margin and really stick to those menu items. Okay, tip number two is the combo. So a lot of people shy away from the meal deal, or whatever you might like to call it. It's about bundling items off your menu, be it drinks or food items, together to create a value for money proposition for your customers. Now, the reason people shy away from it is it's normally not done in the correct manner. The secret here is you have to tailor the style of offer to your venue. So if you're a high-end venue, you're not going to do some cheesy fast food meal deal. It's going to be something like a glass of sparkling with every main course at lunchtime for a special price. And the way you market it is authentic or true to the values of your establishment. So what you need to do is come up with a whole range of different meal deals. You need to promote the hell out of them and watch them fly out the window. You should do this for every different meal period throughout the day. So you should have meal deal or combination offers for both lunchtime and dinner time, and also mid-morning or mid-afternoon for things like coffee and cake. Honestly, it's a really underrated strategy, but it really works. But you must also know the margin of goods. They must make you money. Okay, before we continue, what are some of the low cost and no cost strategies you've already used in your establishment? What do you find effective? Pop them in the comments below and let's see what's working for people already. Okay, tip number three is assessing alternative courses of income. Now, it's really interesting during Corona times. People have come up with all manner of different things that service offerings they didn't usually provide. It might be takeaway, it might be dining boxes, it might be a range of gourmet pickles and relishes and jams that you use in your cafe that you are now bottling and selling direct to customers. So now's the time to think of those different income streams and continue them while you reopen, as long as they're cost effective. Now, here's a thought. What about your venue? Can you use your venue as an additional source of income? Are you closed one or more nights a week? Connect with groups on platforms such as Meetup and use your establishment as a venue. Now, you've got two things you can do. You can either charge a small rental fee for groups to use your site purely as a venue, or even better, why don't you negotiate a per head low cost menu or offering. It might be coffee and cake for an afternoon, catch up for a group. It might be drinks and bar snacks for an evening group. And then that gets people excited about your menu. They come in contact with your food and beverage offering. And here's the thing, you actually become engaged with all these people in the community that may not have been to you before. The other strategy is make sure you get their contact details. Now, it might be as simple as a login to free Wi-Fi. That can be done with an email, or even better, through getting them to follow you on one of your social platforms. And then you are growing your database with people that have already come in contact with your brand. They know you and like you. And then you can start marketing to them in the future. Okay, something really easy and simple to do, and it costs no money at all. Get engaged with your community. Now, if you don't use socials, it might be something simple like signage on the exterior of your venue, explaining what you're doing moving forward, thanking people for their support, and furthermore, asking for their support going forward. Now, if you use social media, get on your smartphone and prepare short little 30-second videos and start posting about these troubling times. What have you been doing to survive? Show a few back of house scenes of food preparation and meals going out. Explain to people moving forward what you're planning to do. Really engage. Ask them for their support. Ask them what they'd like to see you continue doing. If you've been providing new services, ask people moving forward, do they want you to continue? Let them know what's going on, ramp up your engagement, and ask for local community support. And here's the thing, make sure you use tags like shop local or support local businesses to connect with a far greater local community that extends far beyond the reaches of your own venue. Finally, here's a really, really simple strategy. Go online to a site called Canva. It's a graphic design site where, for free of cost, you can develop professional looking vouchers and coupons to use in your cafe, restaurant or food business. And here's the thing, what you do is people who are new customers, and after a while you know who your regulars are, so when you're not seeing a face you haven't seen before, approach them with a voucher, and it offers them something that incentivizes them to return. Now here's the thing again, you need to know your numbers. What is a high margin, low cost good that you can use to incentivize them to become a repeat customer? Now, it can be as simple as a coffee that's free with any future purchase. What you want them to do is modify their behaviour and start becoming a regular. You have to think of the value, what we call the lifetime value of a customer. If you average the spend of a regular customer over the course of a couple of years, it extends into the thousands of dollars, even if you are a small cafe and your average transaction value might be $6. Then the cost of a free coffee to gain a new customer and to potentially gain a lifetime customer is worth the cost of the coffee, because it could actually generate you thousands of dollars in revenue. So go on to Canva, have a look at their free resources, have a play around, look at some offers that you can start making to incentivize people to return. Make sure you click and download on the link below. Enjoyed this video? Make sure you subscribe and receive a notification every time we post a new video. We like to focus on low cost and no cost strategies to really get your food business firing.